Well, hello everybody. Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Welcome to another eBay video. Sorry about that rant outside. I was just ranting. It is freaking raw out. Cloudy, rain, just absolutely god-awful. Today's video is going to be a little unorthodox, similar to last week's video. I'm filming this video over a 2-day period, and this part of the video is actually going to be filmed on Thursday afternoon. So I'm going to film a nice chunk of it today, and then the rest of it's going to be filmed tomorrow afternoon as usual, or possibly even tomorrow night, because we got a crap load of material to go over. Here's what we're going to discuss today. Okay, firstly, we're going to discuss cheap item returns, more about how would you like to proceed, and the sister line, how do you want to resolve this? We're also going to talk about people claiming they didn't get their items when they did. I want to talk a little bit about an eBay survey I received the other day. We're going to do at least 2 cutaways. So yeah, before we get into any of those good things, I want to start off with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Donna Montague 4718 wrote, "Hi Joe, requiring a small replacement part for my stick vacuum. When finding the manufacturer was out of stock, I reluctantly purchased from an eBay seller. I was careful to check my machine for the correct model number and purchased according to the information provided on the seller's listing. When the item arrived, while fairly close, it didn't actually fit, so I initiated a return. I stupidly clicked on the doesn't fit box, as that, in fact, was what the issue was, only to discover that I was then asked to pay the return shipping and to upload tracking. In hindsight, I should have chosen the, quote, does not match description option, unquote, as based on my purchase on the seller's incorrect information. I ended up closing the case as the return postage just wasn't worth the cost, time, and effort given for the total cost of the part. I was honest and ended up paying for the seller's mistake. I have watched your numerous excellent videos about negligent buyers initiating dubious returns and wanted to raise this based on my experience as a very responsible buyer and seller for many years. I didn't know I was going to have to pay return postage until after the return was opened. Any bad buyer clearly knows which box to check before the fact, which leads me to believe that they've done it before, probably more than once. I buy on eBay very regularly and have never before had to initiate a return and therefore remained ignorant until now. Lesson learned. However, now that means that I will check a different box next time if it's the seller's error." Okay, Donna Montague, let me try and cover a few points of your comment. This is a bit of a difficult one for me because I know nothing about vacuum cleaners, nor did I look at the seller's listing, so I really cannot see who was at fault. I get a crap load of returns in eBay Motors. Oh my God, you have no idea how many I get. More than you'd ever believe. And you talked about the fact that it wasn't worth your time and effort to return the part because of the cost of the postage. And I do understand that. But while we're on that topic right now, I want to read to you just some of the returns that I got this week and the ridiculous amounts people are spending to return the items. Donna Montague and everybody else, pay attention. One guy bought an Oldsmobile cap from me for $20.25, and he's returning it because he made a mistake and purchased the wrong part. It's going to cost him $15.96 shipping each way. for a total of approximately $32 to get back $20.25. Case number 2. A guy bought 2 Lincoln center caps when I clearly had a picture of the wheel they go on, just like the example I showed you last week. He paid $29.75. With the shipping both ways, it's going to cost him $24 to get back $29.75. At least he's not as bad as the first guy. He's coming out slightly ahead. The next guy is a real interesting one. Guy buys a retainer. This is a retainer, just so you know. Okay, guy buys a retainer for $18. All right? A few weeks go by, he buys another one, another $18. He gets the second one, and he files for a return and says, doesn't fit. He writes, the retainer you sent me doesn't fit my car. Also, the retainer you sent me 3 weeks ago doesn't fit my car either. Meaning, after buying the wrong size one time, he actually went and bought the same exact item a second time. Ha 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 ha! Anyway, he returned one of them for $18. It's going to cost him $15.50 to return one. So he's coming out a couple of dollars ahead. Guys, I couldn't make this up. Most of my returns are cheap, aggravating returns. And Donna Montague, I don't know exactly what your cost for the part was and how much it would have cost you to return it, but I don't think you're going to beat either of these guys. Timber King wrote, Joe, the buyer who wanted you to call UPS to check on the whereabouts of his package probably got your phone number off the UPS label on the package. He most likely received the package and is trying to scam a refund out of you. UPS shipping labels print out with the buyer's and seller's phone numbers on them. At least that's the way it works for me. I sold 4 oil filters a couple of weeks ago to a guy in Seattle, shipped them USPS priority mail. Tracking show delivered. Buyer sent me a message request saying he didn't receive them, wanted a full refund or 4 more filters sent to him. I updated tracking for eBay even though they already have the tracking showing delivered. This guy messaged me a total of 10 times, each message becoming progressively ruder. The last message was this: are you effing stupid or something? I didn't get my effing filters. Send me my filters or give me an effing refund. I blocked this guy and called eBay on concierge and had them open an item not received case and close it in my favor. If you have tracking that shows the item has been delivered and the buyer claims item not received, you don't have to do anything but update the tracking number that eBay already has, by the way. Let the buyer call UPS and figure it out himself. eBay will find in your favor if he opens a case. Timber King, that's a very good story, and unfortunately, I've been down that road many times with you. I think your advice is good, and I follow it. I also had a similar incident, Timber King, this week. A guy purchased some hubs from me, and tracking shows delivered. He doesn't get them. He claims he doesn't have them, all right, the other night. Let's just say Tuesday night. And he writes to me and says, the tracking shows delivered, but I didn't receive them. I want you to call UPS and find out what's going on. This was, let's say, Tuesday night. I made no calls and no inquiries. I went back to watching television. Wednesday, he starts writing again. Where are my items? How come I didn't receive them? I want you to call UPS. That's Wednesday morning at around 9:15. It so happens I was on my way to the dentist. I had a dentist appointment for a cleaning. Oh, Jesus, man. While I was in the dentist chair, my iPhone was playing piano music like Liberace. Like Libba freaking Rachi. It wasn't stopping. between this guy and one other head case, constantly nagging me. All right? I don't work for UPS. My job is to pack the items, ship them in a timely manner, check the tracking, make sure that it was delivered to the customer. That's my job. That's what I do. All right? So, last night, after not answering the plethora of messages, he writes to me and changes his tune and says, "Oh, you don't have to track them because I have the package now. My neighbor was holding it for me." Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but let's say it is true. What do you think he did next? Anybody? He banged me on feedback. He left me a neutral feedback praising the items. So why, if he loves the items and he's happy with the items, does he leave a neutral feedback? Since you guys are probably shaking your head in disbelief and maybe even not believing Cute Joey, I'm going to stop the video and we're going to go to our first cutaway right now. Okay, guys, please take a quick look at this neutral feedback I just received. I'm going to read it to you. All item there, don't expect to be new, and they were what was stated. Now, aside from massacring the English language, what else has this buyer done that's wrong? If you read the comment, they have no complaint about the item or the quality of the item, but yet they left me neutral feedback. I consider this, in my opinion, buyer abuse. Thankfully, eBay agrees with me and they have already removed this bad boy. But I just want you to see, like I've said for the rest of this year, earlier this year, the climate on eBay seems to have changed for the worse. Buyers are just looking for a fight and looking for trouble when there is no reason to fight and no trouble has been exhibited. Let's get back to the video. Guys, you saw it for yourself. I don't understand why somebody would do something like that. Let's move on to the next comment, which is going to be from Mercedes Lux 2005. Merry Christmas, Joe. Wonderful video again, and thank you. Quote, how would you like to proceed, unquote. Yes, you sure are right, as I cringe at those words. I know I've heard that phrase twice since I started selling in 2005. Each time I felt that gut feeling that told me they are fishing for a partial refund. I never give partial refunds, and I always tell them to return the item for a full refund. I wanted to tell you about a listing I saw a few days ago in the Vintage Barbie section on eBay. I was interested in a listing, read the seller's description and her terms. One sentence in her terms was in all capital letters and bold lettering. I cannot remember the exact words, but it read something like this. I do not accept cancellations. She went on as far as to say something like, quote, you viewed this listing, the shipping cost. Hopefully you read the description in my terms. By purchasing this listing, you accept this listing. Do not bother contacting me to cancel your purchase, unquote. When I read that, I had a strong feeling maybe she has got to be a subscriber of yours. Mercedes, I don't know who she is, but if I knew her in real life, I would buy her a cup of coffee and I would take her out on the town at my expense. I want to meet this woman, okay? I want her! I have nothing but respect for a person like that. Nothing but respect. Rubber Wilbur wrote, Joe, you know I agree with you usually 99% of the time, but I'm not 100% on board with you on your how do you wish to proceed buyer. What if the buyer attacked a picture of the fourth hubcap with the slit on the back? Would you have been willing to send him a replacement, or would you have been willing to refund just the one? I would have immediately asked for a picture and given him the option. To me, it seems a little unreasonable to demand him to return all four caps when only one is bad. It seems like a waste of shipping resources on your end. I understand you are calling his bluff, but let's say he returned all four like you requested, and one actually did have a slit. He could technically leave you bad feedback because you sent the damaged item, and because you forced him to return all four, he gave you a neg just for spite. I'm not sure you could get that removed. To your defense, he shouldn't have been so ambiguous with the, quote, proceed, unquote, comment, because maybe he was fishing for more than a refund on just one item. He overplayed his hand and you called his bluff. I'm curious with what your thoughts are to the possible neg. Rubber Wilbur, I can understand your feelings and your position, but that tells me, respectfully, that you don't know a lot about classic cars. So I'm going to stop for a minute. I'm going to explain exactly what I had and what he bought and the reason for my actions. There are certain classic car parts that are in great demand. Something you hardly ever come across. I mean, you might come across them once in your eBay lifetime. Well, that's what happened to me. I came across a set of 4 hubs that were to die for. I have never in my life had a set this nice. I have never seen them this nice unless they're new old stock, which these weren't. I listed them fairly and correctly, and the buyer sent me a best offer of, let's just say, I'm going to say $50 less than what I was asking, but again, that's conjecture on my part. I accepted his offer because he seems to buy a lot on eBay. He paid fairly quickly. I shipped him the items and everything was fine until he told me the one had the split, which I really didn't see. But I was definitely willing to give the buyer the benefit of the doubt and take all 4 back, not one, okay? Now here's why. Here's where you got to stick with me, Rubber Wilbur, all right? If he would have sent all 4 back, and let's say one did have a split, I would have given him his whole money back with shipping, okay? I would have then relisted them and mentioned one had a split, maybe even circled it on a picture, and I would have bumped the price up, not $50, but $100. I would have bumped the price up because I know just because 3 of them are perfect, maybe 4 are, but I know 3 are, I will sell these if I'm willing to sit on them and wait. And I know that the buyer also knows this, so they ain't coming back, okay? So that, I hope, explains why I wouldn't take the one back or wouldn't give him a partial refund for the one. No, that's not going to help Cute Joey. Cute Joey's willing to help the buyer and give him all his money back, including shipping both ways, because Joe knows he can resell them and probably get more, even if one really does have a split. All right? Kavish? Dennis Copper wrote, giving a partial refund hurts all good sellers. These bad buyers on eBay flourish and breed like rabbits. In Joe's case, the bad buyer will be forced to return the item unless he wants to keep them. Joe ain't giving money back. Here's $20. For what? The hell with that. No, this is where you stand tall. James Rockwell, 5107 wrote, are you selling Hess die-cast trucks this holiday season? James, the trucks are made of plastic, not die-cast. And I am not collecting them with a fervor like I used to for two reasons. Number one, a couple of years ago, that money-hungry company decided to start releasing the trucks before Halloween, which is an absolute money grab, in my opinion. I don't like it, and I don't want any part of it. It takes the joy out of the holiday season. The Hess toy trucks were always associated with the December holidays, okay? They have ruined it, and they've also ruined it by putting out things that aren't even Hess toy trucks. They put out helicopters and other things that are not gaining the interest of the buying public. The interest has gone way down. Way down. And truthfully, I didn't see it coming, and it pains me to say it. But no. 1960 Blue Bug wrote, "Got my peanut clusters and enjoyed your presentation. Love your videos. Very entertaining, but more importantly, informative." Thank you, 1960 Blue Bug, for your positive comments. The last comment I'm going to read is a question from Pat Yeaman. "Please tell us how to block our private contact information from appearing publicly on eBay. Thanks for sharing all your helpful content." Okay, I'm doing this by memory. Start in your Seller Hub. On the top left, you'll see your name, where it says, "Hi, John Smith." Click on that. From the drop-down menu, click on Account Settings. When that page loads, on the left side near the bottom, click on Selling Preferences. And then you'll see all your preferences on the right. Edit what you want. Be sure to click Save, and you'll be good to go. So I hope that clarifies that for you. Alrighty, let's get to some new topics. Okay, where do we start? I covered the cheap item returns already. How would you like to proceed? How many of you guys the other day received a contact from eBay asking you to fill out a short survey? Let me just grab a sip of coffee here if you don't mind. Nothing but a hot coffee on a cold, cloudy, rainy day. Again, with the survey, it was very unusual. And I don't think they sent the survey out to too many people. It started out basically normal, where they asked you questions. Do you strongly agree? Do you strongly disagree? And about halfway through the survey, one of the questions was something like this, and I'm paraphrasing. For this question, we would like you to respond with a video. What can eBay do to make the platform more seller-friendly? Now, participants were given an option to respond with a video, like they asked for, or to just check off particular boxes, a normal response. Joe, of course, chose the video. And I responded. I think they only gave us about 3 months. 3 months, did I say that? I think they only gave us about 3 minutes worth of video to respond with. So I had made a few notations, and I started to expound on each topic. I started out by saying, please stop approving every single item not as described case. And I used the item of the green sweater. I said, if an eBay seller is selling a green sweater and a buyer gets it, a buyer could say, oh my gosh, I really wanted a blue sweater, and click the item not as described case, and actually write in the field, I thought the sweater was going to be blue, not green. And they will get away with it because eBay is rubber stamping everything, and it's got to stop, and it's got to stop now. That was my first topic that I brought up. My second topic was unpaid item cases specifically related to buyers sending best offers. This has been a thorn in my side for the longest time, but it has never been as bad as it has been in the last few days. We're going to stop now. We're going to stop. We're going to go to cutaway number 2. For the following screenshots, rather than do them on my Mac, I'm going to use my phone because I'm running short of time. And the more observant of you guys will notice that the roads are a lot wetter and it's raining a lot harder because this part is being filmed on Friday. So yeah, just like I promised, we're going to be going back and forth with filming times. So I want to talk now about non-paying buyers and cancellations. 2 important topics that every eBay seller should be concerned about. I'm going to start first with non-paying buyers. People who send best offers and then don't pay. Now, some of them just disappear. They're magicians. And you know, it's part of selling on eBay. You got to deal with it. Those people don't bother me. All right, it's frustrating to a point. I agree. I had one this week. I swear to God. The guy had 1,500 positive feedbacks, no reverse positives. His account was great, and he stiffed me. He didn't pay. But he didn't dance. He didn't cause me any aggravation in that respect. But I want to show you somebody who did. On December 13th, a guy sent me a best offer of $80 for an item. He was an overseas buyer. I accepted his offer. It was for some Volkswagen hubs, and I checked his feedback, and you can see where he does own that vehicle, and he's bought a lot of parts for it. I saw no problems with the guy's account. I accepted his offer on the 13th. Nothing. 14th. Nothing. 15th was last night, Thursday night, and here's what he sends me. My son accidentally clicked on the computer. Please cancel the order. Thanks. Well, I don't cancel orders. I have absolutely nothing to gain by canceling that particular sale. If he had contacted me 5 minutes afterwards, yeah, I would have canceled it because no money exchanged hands. I would have nothing to lose. But he made me wait 2 days and keep the item off the shelf. So I'm going to make him wait 2 more days and let him think he's getting an unpaid item strike, even though he's not. The next one is a little bit more technical and ponderous, and really has me scratching my head in disbelief. This one happened Thursday evening at around 4 o'clock. I'm sure you're all familiar with the various sounds your phone will make for various eBay transactions. For instance, if a person sends you a question through the eBay contact system, you get that piano music. If a person makes a purchase, you also get that same piano music. If they actually pay, you get the sound of the cash register, cha-ching. And if they institute a return or a cancellation, you get that alert sound. It goes like, something like that. I'm sure you all know the different sounds. You're seasoned eBay sellers. What happened to me yesterday at 4 o'clock defies logic. My phone, this phone right here, made all 4 sounds at one time. Cha-ching! Bang! I'm like, what the Christ is happening? This thing almost blew the hell out of my hand. All 4 things happen at one time for the same item. That's what's got me concerned. It's physically impossible for the buyer to do what he did unless he had devices, independent devices, queued up to his eBay account. I don't know how he could have done this. Here's what he did. He clicks Buy It Now on my item. Immediate payment is required, so I got the first two sounds immediately. You know, piano music and cha-ching. Okay, immediately I get the piano music again because he sent me a message through the contact system saying cancel the order, and at the same exact time I get the alert message, cancel the order. Let me show you. Would somebody out there theorize how it's possible for one bad buyer to do all four things exactly at the same time so I get notified at the same time, instantly, within seconds? I don't know how they did it. It really has me shaking my head. Now, although I don't usually cancel transactions, I did cancel that one only because I hadn't packed anything, shipped anything, I'd done nothing. I was in the car, in fact, when it happened. So, yeah, I did cancel that one. It's just criminal in nature that in 2022, you can go onto a website, commit to buy something, take the seller's items off the shelf, and not pay, and have absolutely no repercussions whatsoever. Nothing is done to you. Not even a slap on the wrist. Nothing. That's the way it is. I'm not sure if you guys even get it. Most of you do. Some of you I don't think do. Make believe you're going to buy a used car right now. Okay? You go to the Toyota dealer. You look at a nice Camry. He's got a 2018 Camry there. It's clean. The mileage is low. Let's say he's asking 12 grand for it. You say to the guy, I want the car. I'm buying it. There's one catch. You can't sell it to anybody else for 4 days. I'm not going to give you a deposit. I'm not giving you anything. You have to take my word that I'm going to come back in 4 days and buy this car. Now pull the car to the back of the lot so nobody sees it. And he does it. He pulls it to the back. Nobody can see his Camry. 4 days go by. You never go back and make the purchase. He has to go back out, boom, get the car and pull it back out front. Who knows how many potential sales he lost on that Camry? Well, that's what's happening here on eBay. That's why I'm careful in vetting the accounts. But I'm telling you something. I had a deadbeat bidder earlier this week who I didn't show you because the case closed out 2 days ago. I swear to Christ, 1,500 feedback, no reverse positive comments. Didn't hear a thing from him. He's a magician. Disappeared like a fart in the wind. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Now you might remember eBay said they were rolling out immediate payment on best offers last summer. You believe that? No. Then they said, well, we'll do it after the holidays. You believe that? Not happening. I heard through the grapevine, the unofficial grapevine, that they're not going to do it because they feel buyers don't like it and that there'd be a lot less buyers initiating best offers if they had to pay immediately. What they're not realizing, what they can't see through all the smoke and mirrors, is the only thing that's going to stop is deadbeat bidders. It's not going to stop serious buyers. Unbelievable, but true. All right, I had to take a short break because another return came in. It is not unusual for me to get 3 or 4 returns each day. Today I only got the one. I sold these last week. And I knew they were going to come back. Why did I know that? Number one, the person had zero feedback. Number two, those particular caps I just showed you never sell. They were actually well designed for once, and they don't fall off that easily. They're from a 1998 car, specifically a Lincoln Town Car, and in my life, I don't think I've ever sold any. The person that bought them returned them, and in the return description said, "They do not fit my Lincoln Continental." Of course they don't. They're listed as Lincoln Town Car, and I have a picture of the Lincoln Town Car alloy rim, just like I showed you guys last week in a cutaway. I don't have time to do any more cutaways, so I'm not going to. But I'm sure you guys believe me that I am very thorough with my descriptions. Because I knew this person was going to be a problem, I cut the invoice like I showed you last week to get my personal details off there. I don't want them contacting me off eBay, especially a zero feedbacker. Don't need that. So they returned it through eBay, and they lost considerable money in shipping. I don't know, maybe they'll read next time. Then again, maybe they won't. As you can see, it's still cloudy and rainy. This has been one of the cloudiest weeks in recent memory. It's just been terrible. Cloudy and rainy on and off all week, with the exception of one day, which I believe was Wednesday. So yeah, that happened. I've had a couple of more item not received cases opened against me. One of them is actually legitimate, where it shows I shipped the item on time, and it got to Detroit, and boom, tracking stopped. Now, I can understand a buyer being concerned. I really can. I don't fault them for that. But I often wonder why they contact me like I'm going to do something. They say to me, "The tracking stopped in Detroit. Contact UPS and find out what's going on." No. I'm not contacting UPS. I got a business to run. I tell them, listen, you can't open an item not received case yet. It's too soon. Give it a few more days and you have to open it through eBay. If you need help, that I will help you with. I'll send you screenshots, tell you how to do it. Because eBay is very good with item not received cases. When the tracking shows delivered, they're excellent. But in cases like this, usually the item does get there. For instance, 2 weeks ago, I bought 2 items on eBay. Large items that were shipped in 17 by 17 by 8-inch boxes. One seller shipped with FedEx, one with the post office. The person who shipped with FedEx, their items arrived on December 13th, just like they were supposed to. The person who shipped with the post office, the items never arrived on the 13th like they were supposed to. I checked the tracking, and it showed exactly what I just described in my case, where it made it to the hub, boom, and dropped off site. I did not contact the seller and nag him. I did not get excited. I just went about my business. That's what I did. I said, it'll get here when it gets here. And guess what? Today it got here, December 16th. So it's 3 days late. It's the holiday season. These things are going to happen. I get it. I'm not going to complain. So yeah. All right. What else can I say before I leave? Let me just stop, if I may, and have a drink of nice hot coffee. Yeah. Guys, I'm Crazy New York Driver, and you're not. Every Friday, I come out here and I make these videos to try and help you guys stay successful as eBay sellers. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comments section what you want me to hit up, and I'll try my best to answer your questions next week. Sales this week were not that great. I had a few decent days, but I had 2 horribly slow days. concerningly slow. Maybe it's just that time of year. I don't know. But I've been hearing from other eBay sellers they're slow as well. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Hope you found it helpful. Comments, concerns, I want to hear from you. Rock on and peace. And please tell me, how do you want to proceed? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the most important thing. You eBay Motors sellers will be affected by this, hopefully in a positive way. I'm not sure how many of you guys received this message the other day from eBay stating that they're instituting a new program on eBay Motors. Let me read it to you very briefly for those of you guys who did not get this message. In early 2023, eBay will introduce an optional program for parts and accessories that don't fit the buyer's vehicle. The program is intended to decrease your returns caused by fitment issues. Buyers will provide their vehicle details. eBay will confirm fitment by checking the buyer's vehicle details against the info in your listing's compatibility table. If fitment is confirmed, in many cases the program will provide a free return label for you to use when there is a fitment issue. Will it work? Well, guys, they're counting on all sellers to actually use the compatibility table, and I'm going to tell you to your face, many of them don't. I know this firsthand. I do, all right? But even though I do, as you can see, it doesn't matter. I get plenty of returns. Now, eBay says they will verify when a buyer wants to make a purchase whether or not the item will fit the vehicle. So in the case I showed you a few minutes ago with those Lincoln caps, let's say the buyer tries to purchase it and eBay tells them it's not going to fit. I bet they go ahead and buy it anyway because they're stupid. Stupid! They don't read. They don't have it up here. I hope this program works. They said they're going to release it January 2023. Keep in mind, last summer they said they were going to roll out instant payment for best offers. Last summer. That didn't happen. Anyway, my job is to put the news out there. You can assimilate it as you wish. Make your own decisions, because that's up to you. I'm just a reporter. All right, let's try the closing line again. Guys, I'm crazy New York driver, you're not. Thanks for watching. I have one thing to say. How do you want to proceed?